Okay, that's okay. Hello. Welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I am Amanda, and what we do here is EFT, or Emotional Freedom Techniques. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. I am a bit under the weather. Olivia and I have been struggling with a little bit of a virus, so I'm going to be a little bit different, just like foggy brained. So if I pause or forget words, I apologize ahead of time. And that's why. Um, what we do for the next hour is engage in the techniques of EFT. So I typically don't really jump into an explanation of how EFT works or the science behind it. All of that, we've created tons of videos, like hundreds and hundreds of videos on our YouTube channel, which is EFT Universe. You can go to the search bar on YouTube, plug that in, and you'll have lots of support tools for that there. But here, we just want you to experience it. We want you to have the support to be able to come and share and get a relief from whatever it is that's in your way. So, how you can participate is you can put in the chat anything that you're currently experiencing that's creating overwhelm for you in whatever way. It could be something from your past, it could be a current experience, or something that you're worried about in the future. Um, Specifics are helpful, but if you don't have specifics, I can show you how to get relief anyway. It's a wonderful tool set, and I'm so excited that you're here to learn how to engage it with all of us. If you don't feel safe to put what's bothering you in the chat on the internet for everyone to read, that's okay. You can always email me, and then I will address it anonymously the following week. And my email is at the top of the chat if you want to go ahead and grab that. It's also a place where you can ask me questions. I do my best to give you all of the support that you're looking for with this tool set so that it can be effective for you. Now, I don't have any emails this week to share with anyone, but there are some subjects that came up that I just want to touch on. We talk about it every once in a while, and it has been a little while since we've talked about it. But um, given especially like my experience here in the West, there can be a mindset of I do something and it's supposed to be fixed and I'm done, right? And there's a lot of ways where that mindset is appropriate to have. But in something that deals with an ongoing experience, such as life, um, it can feel discouraging to apply that template to like EFT. If it's, oh, but I thought I already tapped on this. It keeps coming up for me. Why am I still bothered by this? EFT is not a tool set to erase your emotions. You're a being with a vast array of responses to your input. So think of it more as something that you're gaining like muscles in, so that as you have something that occurs or something that bubbles up from your past, you are better equipped to alleviate it in shorter time with less pain. So it's helpful to have this be a continuous process so that you're strengthening that connection with your brain. You're learning different ways that you can approach it. You have more confidence in it, so that when you're in that moment of stress and overwhelm, you have that to lean on and feel safe to engage your tools. So more like eating or sleeping or showering, all the things that we do them consistently, but we still know we get to continue to do them in the future. So there's that for you. Also, just given my spacey mindset, I want to just point out what I will be doing, because I think this is something that is also kind of brushed over and forgotten. When you're tapping and you don't have someone directly in front of you, and you've got like a word or something that really bites, that you're like, oh yeah, that word, that's there's something behind that. Write it down. I have been doing this long enough that there are times I don't really need to write it down in guiding us in this type setting. But when I do sessions for myself, I absolutely do a lot of writing down. It's just really helpful to hold on to that word because it is surprising how quickly your brain will release it. And you're going, oh, but I don't think I finished with it. And that doesn't feel good to do. And it's real easy to resolve, right? Just by writing it down. I will probably be doing this today. All right, I'm going to say hello. Hi, Violet. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I'm glad you got to have a holiday break. Okay, nervous to get back into mentoring one after a 6-week break. Okay, yeah, we can absolutely address that. Hi, Richard from England. Hi, Annette. Oh, starting a new business. How exciting. Boy, there's so many things with that. So, Annette, if you're asking for that as a tap, if you're just giving an announcement, yay, thank you for that, because I love being able to cheer you on. But I'm curious, if you're asking for a tap, what aspect of starting a new business? Are you wanting to tap for positive grounding and cementing in, that a particular mindset? Are you wanting to release, any sense of overwhelm that you're having connected to it? If you don't mind giving me a little bit of clarity on that, I'm more than happy to support you on that. Hi, beautiful Kylie. So great to say hi to you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get grounded, and then we can jump right into our topics. Okay. Go ahead and allow yourself to become aware of your body, just where it is right now, and become aware of your mind, wherever your mind is. Don't try and adjust it, anything right now. Just be aware. Is your mind present in this moment? Is it off thinking about other things? How many other things? A couple, a dozen? Does it feel like every bit of your mind is everywhere but here? Just become aware of where the space of your mind and the space of your body is right now. And go ahead and take a breath. We're going to do this a little differently than we have done it in past. So you have to let me know how you feel about this. Go ahead and put your hands over your heart and think about the area that your hands are covering. And think about the part of you that lives in this space, and ask yourself, is this part of me present right now, or is it elsewhere? And if it's elsewhere, just invite it to come back and let it know that we're gonna spend some time just relaxing and healing and releasing together, and that it's welcome to come back and be present here. And now pay attention to your arms. And if you want to sweep down them like this, you can. You don't have to, but think about your arms and think about the part of you that lives in your arms, and ask, is this part of me present right now? And if it isn't, then invite it to come back and to be present in your body at this time. And think about the rest of your trunk. So up here on the tops of your shoulders, down in your rib cage, into your belly, down your neck and your back. The part of you that lives in all of this area, is it present right now, or is it elsewhere? And if you come across a part of you that says, I'm elsewhere and I don't want to come be present right now, it's not safe for me in there, you can say, okay, then you can just listen. Just listen from where you are. That's okay. And give it permission to not have to be forced back into your body. And breathe. Now pay attention to your legs, from your hips down to your knees, down to your calves and your feet. Think about the part of you that lives in this part of your body and ask if it's present. If it's not present, invite it to come and be with you in your body at this time, in this moment. And lastly, the head, our face, our ears, our skull. Think about the part of you that lives here, and ask if those parts are present or if they're out, maybe projecting out. Maybe it's still here, but it's not focused here. And allow and invite that focus, that concentration, that energy to turn inwards for right now. And to be present within just this immediate space of your body. And take a breath and release. Okay, and then we set a quick intention. It is my intention that as we tap together right now, that even though we are all over around the world, having different experiences of life, that we are gathered as a community and that there is real connection and real power and real strength in that. And that as we show up, regardless of what frame of mind or what frame of body or what frame of spirit that we're feeling, that just being here matters and that you get to feel heard and seen. And by the end of this hour, that you get to feel better. Go ahead and take a breath. Okay. Are you feeling grounded? Are you feeling centered? How did you feel about that approach? Let me know if you liked it. Then maybe we'll do it a few more times. I'm going to check the comments again. Okay, and Tony, with respect to starting a new business, the overwhelm of all the pieces that are required. Yes, the networking, all the stuff that's not even part of the actual work. Okay, I hear you. I really hear you. Okay, and Annette, for positive outcome, taking it one step at a time so that you don't become overwhelmed. Okay, perfect. Hi, Helen from Thailand. So glad to have you here. Alrighty, so to jump into I want to tap on from the standpoint of taking action, because with Violet's concern about getting back into um, schooling where she is, and then taking action in the beginning of businesses and the current concerns there. So that's the phrasing that I'm going to use, is taking action. And I am going to write this down. So as you consider how that affects you, when you think about taking action, what are your concerns wrapped up in that? Is it, I'm going to make mistakes, I have to get it right the first time, if I mess it up now, I won't get another chance, I don't want to let someone down. What is it that when you think about, yeah, I need to take action, like right now, I need to take action, what is it that makes you go, oh, about that? And have that in mind as we start to tap. Okay, let's go ahead and start on the hand. Now, I just FYI, I have a tendency to stay on the hand point just because I don't want you getting lost in trying to keep track of what tapping point we're on. Now, if you want to move through the tapping points more often than I do, please feel free to go ahead. You do not have to follow my tapping sequence. I just don't want it to be something that you're concerned about that distracts you from the emotions that you're feeling, the words that you're speaking, because you're worried about, have I moved on to the next tapping point? So as I consider taking action in this way in my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I consider the concerns that I have about taking action, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now it feels not good because of everything that I'm feeling about taking action, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge my concerns, whether or not I feel that they're valid. They may be valid. I might be overreacting. But whether or not I am overreacting right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, Why would I overreact? What does that even mean? Is it possible that I'm placing judgment or invalidation on my feelings right now? Even if I am placing judgment and invalidating how I'm feeling about taking action, I give myself permission to hold space for how I feel, no matter if it's logical or really big or helpful. I give myself permission to feel what I feel. No, I can't feel what I feel. It's wrong. And it's something I have to fix. And it's something I have to judge because I shouldn't feel this way. I should be over this by now. And it's a flaw of mine. Um, and it's really what holds me back and makes me fail. Even if I feel or hear some of these or all of these judgments in my head or in my body as I consider taking action, I still resolutely choose to hold space for myself right now. I choose to hold space. But why? Why would I do that? Maybe holding space for myself makes sense. Possibly it makes sense because my emotions are there anyway, and ignoring them doesn't really help. And acknowledging them could allow me an easier time in moving forward. So, logically speaking, it could make sense for me to acknowledge myself. But I wonder, how else could it be helpful for me to acknowledge these big feelings about taking action? Well, I wonder, is there healing that my mind, that my body, that my emotions are asking for as I attempt to take action? Is it possible that some of these big feelings aren't necessarily connected to the actions that I'm about to take, but are they connected to past times where I've taken action and things didn't go real well for me? Yes, it's possible. No, I don't think that's possible. Whether or not I'm sure about an immediate connection to these big feelings about taking action and my past, I hold space to be curious about this just a little bit longer. Well, I wonder, what could I possibly have learned from past experiences, from past judgments, from past people that would make me feel such big feelings about this moment? As I consider these moments in my life, I may be able to think of a lot. I may have some vague ideas, or I may not be able to think of much of anything. Whether or not I'm very clear on where these big feelings could have started, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I accept myself because I still made it. I still made it here. I wonder, can I make it easier for myself? Is it possible for me to alleviate myself of carrying all of this forward? Yes. And maybe some of these old experiences deserve some attention. And it would be helpful for me to go back and address them and tap on them and heal them. But do I have to wait? Do I have to wait for feeling comfortable and taking action until all of that's resolved? What if I don't? What if I didn't have to wait? What if I could feel good about taking action right now? That would be awesome. But how would I do that? I don't know that I've ever given myself that permission before. Even though it sounds really great to move forward in a positive way without requiring that anything else happen first, I'm not sure I know how to do that. Even though I'm not sure right now how to move forward in a profoundly positive way, I choose to hold space to learn it, hold space to explore it, and to even be surprised by it. Maybe something just happens and just aligns and falls into place. And I didn't even have to do anything for that. I hold space for all of these possibilities. All right. So, what would that look like? What would this look like for me in taking positive action? It's possible that this feels really vague right now and that it feels really big, and I'm trying to figure out too much at one time. So, what if I made it smaller? What if I offered to myself a smaller piece? What would be the beginning point? What would feel the best for me to begin to feel more comfortable, more confident, more supported, more peaceful? Maybe I write out to myself, I have permission. And I give myself all the permissions that I'm waiting for to receive. Maybe I've been waiting from other people, but maybe I could give it to myself. So I could write it on a sheet of paper. I give myself permission to feel good. I give myself permission to feel confident. I have permission to succeed. I have permission for things to be easy. I have permission to find the right people. And maybe that could feel really good. Maybe it's giving myself permission to prioritize my time, my thoughts, my tasks. Maybe it's allowing myself to have my feelings, but giving myself permission to separate that from my actions. Because isn't it true that new things have a bit of unsettling attached to it? But maybe that doesn't need to be overwhelming. Maybe I can say, okay, overwhelm, talk to me. What is it that we're feeling right now? What is all of this about? And hear it out and then say, okay, I hear you. But look at where we are. Where we are and what you are feeling are two separate places. And it's okay that you're here. And we can work on resolving that. But you don't need to be applied in this area. It's okay for this part to be just a little bit nervous. It's okay for this part to be a beginning point, that maybe it's a little messy and maybe it's a little frustrating and possibly a little stressful, but not a threat and not a doomsday and not a foreboding, a failure. It's okay. It's okay for me to have all of the feelings of my past, but also hold that line of space for this to be my future. There are a lot of things that I could choose to be my beginning point of support. So, how would I determine what's best for me? Well, maybe I start with being clear on what it is that I want right now. If what I want is to feel confident, then I can look for things that would offer that to me. If what I want is to feel more organized, then I know how to offer that to myself and to begin looking for those answers. So as I allow myself to have clarity one step at a time, and I allow myself to change my mind or to move forward or not move forward in whatever way I can determine is best for me at the time, I allow myself to have that. It's okay that this is new. It's okay for me to have all the feelings that I have, as well as positive feelings, as well as feeling excitement and brave and curious and proud, and allow all of these feelings to have a voice and to coexist for as long as they need to speak. This support for myself, from myself, my support in taking action. And as I move forward with these principles in mind, I trust that I will also be illuminating what I need to do next. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Tap just a minute longer. Just allow yourself to kind of float in that space. If you have any other thoughts about what we just tapped on, just continue to allow them to be. It's just allowing a little bit of time for integration. Okay, go ahead and pause and take a breath. Alrighty, now I saw quite a few comments come in, so I'm gonna go over here and just see. Hi, Elizabeth in West Virginia. Hi, Trudy. I keep procrastinating on getting my story completed and video made to get my website finished. Okay. Creating a program to assist those with domestic trauma and almost finished with my website. Okay. I hear you, Trudy. And Helen, I took too much action. Now I have to surrender to what is. There's nothing more I can do in the physical to move forward in assisting this project in fruition. Okay. Annette, action will create change, and change is scary. Fear of failure and fear of success. So let me know if that tap helped you with that, or if you still have things that are really igniting with that. What would you suggest for getting over this fear of putting myself out in the public? Okay, I've always worked in the background due to stage fright at age 7. And okay, and yes, there was trauma. At 7. Non-action can be a big action. Hi, Anya. So glad that you're here. Alrighty, so let me absorb just what everyone put in and see where we can move on. Okay, so we've got procrastination, fear of failure, um, change being scary, um, and working from a traumatic space. Let's see. I want to do this from a standpoint of like something's in my way. I'm just looking for the right words, and I see there's more chats that came in. Struggle with old judgments. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth, you're so sweet. Okay, good. I'm glad that helped, Annette. You're very welcome. Okay. This is in my way. That's the phrasing I want. Okay. This is in my way. I have it written down. So when I say this, you can replace this with whatever is in your way. So if it's fear of failure is in my way, procrastination is in my way, fear of change is in my way, fear of being seen is in my way. So I will say this because it's just more broad to be inclusive. But I want you to change my wording to what hits for you. And let's just start there. Um, yeah, I keep wanting to explain things, but it'll be better if we just jump into it. So as we start to tap, focus in on what it is that's in your way. And as you're focusing in on it, I want you to feel it in your body. Where is this thing that's in your way? Where does it live in you? Is it just outside of your body? Is it in your body? What area of your body? Does it move around, or is it in a particular area? Does it feel deep, like it goes back through time, possibly even through past lives or ancestors? Like it's a legacy of this heavy energy that's been handed down to you. Really allow yourself to discover its boundaries and where all it is. And as you're doing that, try your best to see it and feel it, the textures. If there's color, is it bright and neon? Is it dark and thick? Is it hazy? Is it translucent? Is it iridescent? Is it really matte and dark, kind of like it absorbs light? Like light isn't reflecting off of it at all. Is it heavy? What kind of density does it have? Is it creating a sensation in your body? Is it squeezing? Is it tight? Is it wrapped around something? Is it metallic? Is it made of rope? Is it bricks? What this is doing is allowing your subconscious brain to become aware of the importance of this by engaging all of your sensory organs and seeing it. So there's practicality behind this kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Creative approach. And now the really weird questions, but do try to get an answer if you can. If this thing was making a sound, what would it sound like? What do you hear? It could be a noise that you've heard a creature make, a person make. It could be like a rushing wind, a creaking door, something that you can't even describe, but it's something that your ears would pick up if you could hear it. And if it had a smell, what are you smelling? Is it burning tires? Is it moldy? Is it pungent smell? You just try and get some word there. And the last one, and this one's really really the hardest one, I would say. But what does it taste like? If you had to taste it, what flavor would this thing have? Would it taste like chalk or dust or dirt or um, some sort of food or something you've never tasted before, but you imagine it would taste like this if you had to taste it? Um, just try to lock in something. Again, we're just engaging all of our sensory organs. As you have this really great description of this thing that's in your way, feel free to incorporate some of those words as we tap on it now. As I become aware of this thing that's in my way, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I am aware of all of the aspects of this thing that's in my way, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm so aware of this thing and I haven't done a thing to release it yet, I still choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself. I don't accept this thing. I don't want it here. I don't like it here. It really bothers me. But even though it is here, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this is the space of where I currently am. And I acknowledge that things happened for me to be here with this thing in my way. And the things that happened, I may be really clear on, or I may not know much detail. I may not remember much. But whether I have every bit of clarity I could want, or I'm not really sure about much of anything, I hold space to heal. I hold space to release this thing that's in my way. But isn't some of this the consequences of my own actions through my life? I mean, yeah, maybe like the initial things that started causing this, but may or may not have been of my fault. But I mean, like procrastinating, shouldn't I be able to handle that? I mean, I'm an adult now. Shouldn't I be able to govern myself better? Even if part of me is placing some really big judgments like this on myself right now, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway, and I choose to release this, to let it all go, let it fall away right now. And if I really feel like I need those judgments, I can pick them back up. But for right now, they're gone. I don't need them in what I'm doing right now. So I give myself permission to release all of this heaviness, of all of these judgments of where I currently am with this thing. As I choose to acknowledge myself, I choose to focus in on where I am and how I have gotten here. I have survived. And not only that, I have improved in my life. And I did that with this thing that's in my way. And it's been hard and it's been a struggle. And I haven't enjoyed a lot of the experiences that are caused because of it. But I've still managed to get here. I've still done this. And maybe I haven't felt safe to acknowledge that. And maybe I haven't felt worthy to acknowledge that because I'm still struggling so much. But even if I've had a hard time acknowledging the good that I've done. I deeply and completely accept myself, and I give myself permission right now to acknowledge that, to see how far I have come with all of this baggage that's in my way. That really does mean something. It means something good and positive and strong and beautiful that I've been able to do this. But I wonder, do I have to keep functioning this way? Is it possible for me to release this thing with where it is in my body, where it is in my mind, where it is in my decisions? Can I release this from me? Yes. No. Whether or not I have a complete yes, or part of me is struggling to say yes, I deeply and completely accept myself. For the parts of me that are able to say yes, I give them permission to let it go right now, to release what I can right now. Let's go ahead and take a moment and consider how you're going to release this from your body. Whether you just push it out, you take a breath and you blow it out, you've got some sort of beautiful light that shines and destroys it, you shoot it with lasers, whatever it is that feels complete and absolute for you to be able to release this. Continue to visualize it being released from your tissues, your spaces, and feel it as it's disappearing. Feel that lift and that space that's being created as it is eliminated from your body. This space that I am creating, this space that is mine, this space that I am reclaiming, this space that I govern, this space that I choose. Release. 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 This thing that's in my way. Release. This thing in my way. Release. 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 And as I allow as much of this to go as I can in this moment, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what do I do with this space? And what do I do if any bit of this is left? Even if part of this thing is left in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. But I wonder, how do I offer support? Well, what do I want? What do I want in this space? I know what I don't want. I know what I don't want to have to deal with. But what would I like to have? Would I like to have ease? Would I like to have success? Would I like to have clarity? Would I like to have confidence or peace or joy? What word can I give myself that I can embody and allow in this space? So go ahead and choose a word. It's okay if it's not the perfect word. You can always add more words or upgrade your word if you think of a different one later. And allow this word to be received by all of your sensory organs as well. So see it, feel it, smell it, taste it, touch it. Get that pleasantness in there. What wonderful smell does it have? You got to taste what wonderful flavor does it have? What color is it? What texture is it? How does it feel inside of your body? And if part of that other space is still there, allow this new word to wrap around it, encapsulate it, maybe shrink it, deafen it, have an effect on it. As I allow this transformation in my body and allow the good feelings that come from it, I wonder, how is this helpful? Aside from feeling really good, which is great, how does this help me? Well, I was very aware of what I didn't want. And I was focusing a lot of my energy on, pardon me, I was focusing a lot of my energy on how to not have it. What if I took all of that energy now and allowed myself to focus on what I do want and to figure that out? Oh, I don't know about that. That's new. And it sounds hard. And I don't know that I've ever done that before. Even if parts of me are concerned about how to make this happen, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay for me to have concerns, but isn't it true that I've already done this? I've already found ways to have more positivity in my life because I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place than I used to be. And I was doing that with all that heaviness. Surely I can figure it out now, too. And maybe it will be even easier. And maybe it will feel even better now that I'm able to have more support. And even if I'm not quite certain what it looks like yet, I give myself permission to trust in my abilities to figure it out because I'm good at figuring things out. Even if up to this point, it's mostly been figuring out how to survive and figuring out how to overcome really big, negative, overwhelming things. I can figure things out, even if they're positive. I can figure things out, even if they're good. And it's okay for me to approach it slowly, cautiously, thinking things through many times. Whatever my process is, I give myself permission to discover it. And as I proceed, if I recognize that this thing is speaking up again, I give myself permission to explore it, to see if I can release it or if there's something in my past that needs to have some attention to be released. But I choose for it to be a signal rather than a roadblock. Because if I'm honest with myself, as much as I've seen it as a roadblock, it's only ever just slowed me down. It's never stopped me. So if I need it as a signal for my attention, for something that could be released, I accept that. But I choose to see myself as a being that's capable of change, that's capable of gaining knowledge, that's capable of success, that's capable of achievement, that's capable of joy and support, that's capable of meeting the goals that I have for myself, that I feel in my heart. And as I allow myself these definitions, I deeply and completely accept myself. Again, we're just going to tap a little bit longer. Okay, go ahead and take a breath. So I hope you feel lighter. And one thing that got in my way when I was first learning EFT is I wanted to know, like I wanted to cognitively, consciously know everything that I was releasing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it did give me a little bit of resistance to things like what we just did, which is called chasing the pain. It's one of the clinical techniques of EFT, um, where you can effectively release something because you're targeting it in your subconscious brain through, hey, this feeling, this, we don't want this. And this sensation, this, we don't want this. And hey, this thing over here, yeah, we don't need that. That's not that this pain in my heart isn't actual physical pain in my heart. We don't need a signal for that anymore. So we can let that go. And the subconscious brain will alleviate that. And you don't necessarily always have to go through, oh, but where did that come from? And why did that happen? And who gave that to me? And what experience did I have that broke my heart that way? And you don't always have to do that. So I hope that that is supportive for you in a way to approach something, especially if there's a lot of overwhelm or vagueness attached. It's a really great way to approach it and get true release, because you are connecting it to your subconscious brain, which knows more about what's happening anyway, to break those bridges of neurons of information in your brain and let it go. So I'm nerding out now, but I hope that helped. Okay, we've got enough for one more short tap. I'm going to see. Okay, studio. I know we didn't exactly touch on struggle with old judgments that much, but I hope that that tap was able to approach that for you. Yay, Violet feels so much better. Release so much fear. Yay, yes, I love that. Hi, Dr. Scott. Got stuck in Florida rush hour traffic. Last 15 minutes are very useful so far. Well, good. I'm so happy for that. And I'm glad that you're here. Alrighty. So I feel like we kind of touched on some deeper spaces that maybe have opened more than they necessarily resolved. There's a little bit of live energy kind of swirling now. So I want to approach having a place of empowerment in something that isn't 100% resolved, and how to offer support and joy, even with a balance of things occurring. So, oh, yay, the tap helped. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, thank you for letting me know. All righty. So go ahead and just take a quick, wow, that the word is just not there. Assessment. There we go. An assessment of where you are right now in the emotions that you're feeling. If you're feeling vulnerable in any place, in your body and your emotions and your mind, and just become aware of it. That's all. And let's go ahead and start tapping. As I begin to approach the end of this session, I allow myself to become aware. Sorry for the noise in the background. It's my daughter opening a container. She'll be done in a second. I allow myself to become aware of how I'm currently feeling. I allow myself to be aware of all of my feelings, the whole spectrum, where I'm feeling relief, where I'm feeling an expansion, where I'm feeling maybe joy or peace or a settling. And I allow myself to be aware of maybe a stirring of something that I've touched on that I know I want to pay more attention to, that I know I want to dive into and dig out. and really clear out some more things in that area. And possibly other things that I haven't touched on that I want to, that maybe including a part of the equation that feels a little bit heavier than the other places. And as I allow myself to be aware of all of these places that exist in me, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I am aware of all of these spaces, I wonder, is it my habit to give more emphasis to one area than another? Is it true for me that if a heaviness or concern or negativity is currently present, that I kind of focus in on that? Even if it's true for me that I have a tendency to focus on the parts that I want to remove or change, I deeply and completely accept myself. Well, I wonder, why would I do that? Why, if I have this whole spectrum of things happening, would I focus on the negative stuff? Well, it's not because I want to be negative. It's because I'm focusing on what I don't want so that I can be aware of it, so that I can get rid of it. Okay, absolutely. That makes sense. And I don't see a logical problem with that. But I wonder, is there a different way for me to look at this? What if, instead of looking at my spectrum of experience as like a pile of dirt that I need to be aware of and sweep up and spend time on, what if instead I saw it as like radio stations or websites or YouTube channels? And maybe, even though they all exist, I can choose which one I want to focus in on and which one I want to learn more in and expound on and make stronger, and allow the others to be, but not necessarily be more present. Because even though I have some places that may still want resolution, isn't it true that the places that have resolution, the places that just feel so good right now, are pretty big too? What would it be like for me to allow that part to speak louder? What would it be like if I allowed myself to focus more on that? Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. I cannot do that. If I did that, then the other parts, oh, they would be much too sneaky and they would sneak up on me and surprise me. And that doesn't feel good. Or they would get really big. They would just grow enormously without my attention. Even if I have some concerns about not paying attention to the negative things, I deeply and completely accept myself and I hold space for a different perspective. Sure, I guess that's possible, but I wonder, have I ever tried? Have I ever actually tried? Have I really set that boundary and said, nope, nope, it's not your time. Go to your room. Have I really placed a boundary around it and allowed myself that empowerment? Because what if? What if it didn't grow? And what if it didn't sneak up on me? What if instead it became weak? What if instead I became more empowered and I felt more supported and I felt more nurtured, which made me better equipped to handle those other things when I do pay attention to them? So, what if What if I allow them their space, but I create a boundary around that space and I govern when that space is addressed or not? That sounds pretty good. I think I can give that a try. So, as I come to the end of this session and I look at the spectrum of feelings and emotions and thoughts that are currently in my mind, I give myself permission to create boundaries of love, boundaries of strength, whatever it is that I need, and wrap them around the parts that I'm ready to set down for now. And I give myself permission to really expound and expand on the parts that I really want to invite to be a bigger part of my life and to have a stronger presence. My body, my mind, my spirit, my choice, my boundaries, my expansion. And as I allow myself these tools, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and take a breath. How are you feeling? I hope that in thinking about where you were just an hour ago, that you're able to sense spaces in your body, in your mind, in your spirit where you feel better, where you feel uplifted, where you feel supported, where you feel loved because you are. And I care very much about you. And I'm really, really grateful that you made it here with all of us and our community today. Yay. Okay, yay, great. Thank you for letting me know. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I hope I get to see you next week. It's always Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you have questions, you want to email me, you have something you want to tap on and keep it anonymous, please let me know. My email is at the top of the chat. I'll speak it out loud. It's Amanda, AMANDA, at EFTuniverse.com. Have a great week. I hope to see you next week. Mwah. Bye for now.